Ololua is somewhere around Ngong, the Ngong Hills Forest, as you can see from here. And so, what I wanted first to do is maybe to make you understand why I'm looking at Ololua and why we're looking at Graceland and the correlation. And so, Ololua has a very important river that starts from there, or at least has its waterways pick up from the Ololua forest. And this is the Kandisi River. And so we are going to follow Kandisi River all the way to Graceland and see what it becomes. If you've watched my previous Yokimau edition video, you might have a little bit of context. For those who are new, please make sure that you subscribe and continue learning with us as we get to appreciate why different things happen. And so between Ololua and Graceland, I've just put it here for us to observe and at least all of us can follow. Between Ololua Forest and Graceland, um, if you decide to walk, it's going to take you about 9 hours. And on the shortest walk is about 9 hours 4 minutes. And this route is basically the national park. And so it is about 40.8 kilometers. Now, 40.8 kilometers is a very good marker that I would want us to put in place. Secondly, I would also want to observe the elevation between Ololua and Graceland. So you can see the first elevation is at about 1,858. So maybe we can round it off to 1,860. And the elevation at Graceland is at about 1,497. Is it 97? And we can round that off to about 1,500. And so this elevation is very key because when we understand water, critical to understanding the aspect of how water moves is for us to understand. If you remember back in school, we learned so much about gravity and we learned so much about acceleration. So, and I think the symbol, if I remember correctly, the gravity symbol was G. And so we want to understand the Earth's gravitational pull basically on objects near its surface. So that would be anything, including water. And so since we know, since uh, we know the elevation, the start point to the end point. When we do the quick math, 1860, 1500, we get about 360. That would be the difference in elevation. And so the minute we have the difference, because we are walking, we want to convert this kilometer. We'll take the shortest distance into meters. So we know 1,000 meters is equivalent to 1 kilometer. So that's about 40,800 meters. And so once we have both those details, we want to find the flow of water. Now, I've done this math, so I'll not bore you with the math, but I would love maybe in the comment section, you could go ahead and indicate what the water speed is from Ololua downwards to Graceland, at the river. Please indicate in the comment section what that water flow speed is, and that is a critical piece of information that we need for us to understand not just Graceland but this entire area, right? This entire area of water, okay, and why it is a very, very dangerous spot. Now, I'm going to burst this image And I will not bore you with, taking you from where Ololua is. Maybe I will actually very, very briefly from, this area. I'll just bust this up so that you are able to see and appreciate the Ololua forest and how mighty and big this forest is. Okay, all this is the Ololua forest. However, down here you see Kandisi River. Okay, and this river goes. You can see it here, Kandisi River. It traverses around this area. Okay, it traverses around this area. You can see it down here. This is Kandisi River. Okay, it traverses all these areas, goes all these areas, and uh, as it gets here, you can see Kandisi, and here it becomes Mbagadi River. Okay, it becomes Mbagadi River right here, and when you look at this river, you see again we have a lot. We have a lot of dwellings. Yeah, we have a lot of dwellings around this area. If you bust this image, um, you can definitely tell where these places are. This is Magadi Road, and definitely this is Rongai. So one of the questions, or one of the things that people ask is, why doesn't Rongai flood? You can see that Kandisi's river is literally behind the dwellings of Rongai, right? It's more towards the national park, and the dwellings that are there are very sparse. Okay, are very, very sparse. And so if we go on, we observe that this is Mbagadi River. You can see Mbagadi River here, and it goes on traversing around the different places. And take, I'll just bust this river up so that you can actually tell. You see, this is where it is. Okay, and we're going to maybe go a little bit down, and so you can see it right here. And at this point, it is at the borderline of Nairobi County and Kajiado County. Okay, so tunaenda nayo, we can follow it downwards, downstream. Remember, we have already seen that the elevation is going downwards. Yeah, the elevation is going downwards here, right? So this water is coming at a very high speed. Remember, guys, please go into the comment section and uh, knowing what the starting point is, the end point is in terms of elevation gain. We know the distance, we've converted it into meters. We want to find out, um, the speed of this water, understanding gravitational acceleration, right? And so we can easily tell at the point where we have heavy downpour what kind of speed or water flow speed this water is actually coming down into this area with. Now, remember, there are many other tributaries that also feed into Mbagadi River. But as you come, you are going to observe something very interesting here. Okay? This Mbagadi River feeds to its own dam right here, what we now call the Mbagadi Dam. But even when the Mbagadi Dam is filled, it still has its outlet, similar to the outlet that we saw in the previous video on Syokimau Dam. If you haven't watched that video, please go ahead and watch it on this channel. And so from here, you can now see how the river goes, right? So this water ideally would fill and whatever is excess spills over. So maybe at this point there would be speed deprivation, like because the water would actually come and first fill this particular dam, and then now you still have that water go down. So maybe someone would try and get the difference in elevation from the Nairobi, from the Mbagathi Dam downwards towards Graceland. And so you can now see here, this is Mbagathi River. Okay. When you come downwards, you have some apartments on this side, and it becomes a very big river at this section. And it goes, crosses into Mombasa Road. And once it crosses into Mombasa Road, you can see where it comes into. There is a very big structure here. Someone can tell us which structure this is, and it goes downwards. There is also a very big estate right here. There's a very, very big estate. And this estate is what is called Crystal Rivers. And this is the Crystal Rivers Mall. Now, we all know, you've seen in the news what has been happening, right? And so please understand that this is why flooding is happening. You can see this is a very big river. I'm not sure about the aspect of riparian, but clearly this is the water that literally submerged this estate and the mall. You can actually see it right here. Yeah. So we've come with this water all the way from Ololua, where it was Kandisi, and now it is Mbagadi. And even as this happens, right, you still have this river taking shape. And as it takes shape, interestingly, you can see where it comes. Takes a big turn. So all this spillage will come into this area. All this spillage will come into this low land area. It is at the lowest point here at 1,497 meters. And so once it reaches this place, you have a lot of spill that happens around this area. And so even as it spills, it will also spill into this other area. So most of this area will automatically flood. So now, this area we all should be very careful about. Without looking at profiteering and looking at um, money and all that, I think it is important to understand why uh, this type of river can have devastating effects. Seeing that we are still going to experience extremely heavy downpour, according to the Met, uh, it is good that anyone who resides around this area looks at a different option in terms of a residential space, just so that we have everyone being safe. And so I hope this video provides for you an understanding. In the previous video, we looked at this very small a tributary that was getting into Mbagathi River, and this tributary was actually coming from the Syokimau Dam. If you follow this upwards, it will take you upwards to Syokimau Dam. And so today we have covered the Mbagathi River as it elongates its way to Ololua, starting as Kandisi. I hope this video helps. Thank you very much. Please like, subscribe, and comment. Thank you. but that